I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get started in about 5 minutes. If you're joining virtually. Oh, put me mute there.
Here, right? You don't see.
Yeah, put me mute there.
Okay.
There you go. No. Testing audio. We're gonna get started in 5 minutes. We're gonna get started at 6:35. Thank you for joining. Hi, Alexis.
Hi. Sorry I can't be there in person today, everybody. But doctor's orders.
Yeah, but we still have to take minutes. Yeah. Alexis, are you gonna be able to take minutes? I'm saying no. I'm asking for volunteers.
Oh, I thought you said, yeah, you would ask for volunteers just because I'm on
Yeah,
bed rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what yeah. So yeah, I need, oh, what did I do? Okay,
What?
yeah.
If no one volunteers, then I'll just do it. I mean, I think, hopefully somebody on the committee could stand up.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool.
Jana, you look different.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Carlos. I work with Jana, and she gave me her link. I think she's there in person. No, she told me that she was going to be attending in person, so that's why I'm using her link.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
Hi, Paula.
Can somebody speak, please? We're doing a sound check.
Check one,
See?
two.
It's super low.
Check one, check one.
Yeah.
Check two, check two.
Can you do it from there too, from the volume?
I did. It's maxed out. Okay, stay put, everybody. We're having some technical difficulties. No, you have to,
More volume, so I.
oh, I'm sorry.
Because if I do this, that's only gonna pick you up, so I was gonna take that off and lower it a little bit so I can go acoustics, I don't know.
What, like, switch the computers?
No, there's one. You sure think it's just, we have higher than sign. Speak now.
Hello.
Yeah, there's an echo here. So this cannot be on, so that's your only microphone.
It's super low, like.
Hi, my
people
new
don't have-
auntie.
Alexis, say something.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Yes. I don't know why it wasn't working before. Okay, again.
Hello?
Thank you. All right, we're gonna get started. At 6:36, we're gonna call this meeting to order. My name is Luana Ferreira. Good evening, buenas noches. I am the chair of Community Board 12 PCA, Parks and Cultural Affairs. And we would like to welcome everybody to the new session for year 25-26. I hope everybody had a pleasant summer. We're back in session, and we are being joined by brand new community board members and also community board members that were in other committees but are joining what I call for short, or what we call for short, the PCA. So we're going to do some introductions of those members. The only report that I have is, and we will be dedicating some time to the New York Times article about Dolphin Park. And I'm happy that Parks is represented here to answer some questions, but off the bat, I will say that that park does not fall under the purview of Parks. It falls under Port Authority. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if we're being joined by members of the community at large, who want questions answered, then Parks is not able to provide, or rather, Parks will be able to provide limited information about this playground that has been closed for approximately 5 years, I believe. And if you read the New York Times article, it was phrased in a manner that it's keeping the children out. We are concerned as a community board, and we are in conversation of perhaps drafting a community board-wide resolution that will include both parks, maybe traffic and transportation, as well as youth. But I just wanted to say that from the beginning, because I know how these meetings start, right? So if I front load the information that Parks has limited information about this, and it does not fall within the purview of Parks, then the conversation then becomes less redundant and a little bit more reduced, and then it goes into the general board meeting. That being said, my name is Luana Ferreira. Again, I want to welcome both existing and new board members. I've been part of the community board for, is it 3 years now? It's been forever. It feels like it's been forever. And I'm entering my 3rd year as a committee chair. I want to also offer a kind and friendly reminder to please observe our rules of decorum, both among board members and among the public that visit us. We treat you all with the utmost respect, and we expect the same. So let's move it with introductions. I'm going to start with brand new members. Oh, there's Tracy McNeil, just in time for introductions, Tracy. Yeah. We do have quorum, though we don't have resolutions on the table tonight, so that's a good thing. So Diogenes is probably still on his way, so why don't we start with Aiton?
Yes, I am.
Welcome, Aiton. Aiton.
Yeah,
Sorry, Aiton.
no problem. I am Eitan Steinbaum. I'm a new member of the board and this committee as well. I'm a law student in Cordova School of Law. I'm really passionate about Washington Heights. I moved here because of UCB University to begin with. But I decided to stay. I love it and I love the community, and I'm also an avid runner, so I like to take as much advantage of our parks as possible. So I'm happy to be on this committee specifically. And thank you for welcoming me.
Thank you. I'm going to go to our fabulous co-chair, Alexis Marnell, who is joining us via Zoom due to she's been mandated to stay put. And both I'm sorry,
My name's Jody.
Jody. Okay, yes, Jody and Eitan are going to be doing the shared minute tasks. So Alexis, as the co-chair, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hope everybody had a great summer. This is my 4th year as a CB12 member. No, I'm going on my 3rd year as a CB12 member, but I was a public member from 2018. I have lived here since 2008, but grew up in this neighborhood, coming to this neighborhood as my grandparents immigrated here from Crete. And I grew up going to St. Spiridon on Wadsworth and 175th. Parks and culture is very important to me. I've spent my life working in arts and social justice. I work for Classical Theater of Harlem, and we do a great deal of work in other public parks in New York City. And I apologize I'm also secretary of CB12, and I apologize I cannot be there in person. Doctor's orders that I'm on bed rest, which is annoying, but necessary. So welcome to our new members, and we're looking forward to getting a great deal accomplished. And thank you to those who are taking on the duty of doing minutes, and I'm happy to just reach out to me and I'll help you, if you need help crafting them, etc. I am happy to assist. Thank you.
Okay,
Hope you feel better, Alexis.
we miss you, Alexis. All right, so then
Thanks, Dan. I miss being there too. I miss being
Let's start.
outside.
let's follow along now with Jody, who is part of the community board, but she is new to the committee.
Hi, I'm Jody Herson, and I've been on the community board for 2.5 years. And was on health and the environment and just got appointed to parks. So here I am.
Welcome. And Daryl?
Hi, good evening, Daryl Cochran. I've been on the community board, I think, almost 9 years. Time flies, and I've been on the Parks and Cultural Affairs Committee for about 6 of those years. So it's my second stint on the committee. So, and I live up right near Fort Washington Collegiate. Well, what was Fort Washington Collegiate, which was, yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to say that I was born, raised, grew up, and still living in Washington Heights in the Dykeman area. So yeah, District 6 child, man. Tracy, you wanna, or do you need some time
No,
to
I'm ready.
decompress?
I'm ready.
You're in? All right.
Hi, I'm Tracy McNeil. This is my 3rd year on the community board, I think. This is, I think, my 3rd year on Parks and Rec. Feels emotionally right.
You're
from
right,
Wash-
we're the same time.
Perfect. From Washington Heights, came home from the hospital directly 162nd. I'm also a Dozo graduate. I see you, Claire. Raising my son in Washington Heights, into uplifting our community, supporting our parks, supporting our arts, all of the above. Let's make our community best it can be. McNeil over and out.
I love this committee. I really do. Danny, you wanna go next?
Hi, my name is Daniel. I also serve land use. I'm an artist. Lived here almost all my life. And I've been on the board for 5 years, I think, since like 2020 or 2021. I think 2020, somewhere around there.
Who
So
becomes blurred with time?
Yeah. I love my parks, so don't mess with me. Don't mess with our parks, but it's our parks. Not just my park, but your park as well. So, yeah.
And last but certainly not least, Crystal.
Hi, everybody. I'm Crystal Woodley, and I just finished my first year on the community board.
He survived.
I'm also on youth and education. I'm happy to be on the community board. I too have grown up in Washington Heights. I live in Washington Heights outside of going to school, undergrad in Albany, UA, I'm Washington Heights all the way. I am excited for the programs that we're gonna have this year. We're looking forward for you guys to come, more community events, connecting with our constituents. And I am happy to be of assistance. Oh, I'm also looking to get my thumb more green this year, so in the garden.
Very nice. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Before we move on to programming updates, I had as part of my reflection during the summer and staying in the city or in the neighborhood, bless you, this summer, it occurred to me that in speaking with our constituents, there is a need for a consolidated platform to announce free programming in the area, because in speaking with people out and about, especially like open streets, I did my roller skating, yeah, all of that. It occurred to me, and I put it on a thread, that it might be a good idea to start thinking about perhaps of an Instagram page to promote ongoing events within CB12 as a collaborative effort. It will not be a page for people to air their grievances. That will not happen, but it's simply a way for people to see what are the ongoing events, activities that are free of charge for the community. I will happily manage that if people do approve, and then we can create sort of like a common Google email or a DM, a photo of the event or photo of the logo and the blurb. It's super easy, right? So I figure that if we put the responsibility on the organizations to provide the photograph and the blurb, all we have to do is upload it and pin it if it's ongoing. Once it's over, we unpin it. Yes,
I'm sorry, as it relates specifically to parks.
for this committee, yes, Parks and Cultural Affairs
Okay.
within CB12. So I don't know, team, what do you guys think? I'm willing to take this responsibility because I feel that Alexis does all the minute taking, and that's a tedious task. It's only fair if I share in the responsibility of maybe consolidating all of these events in one centralized location where people can just see, oh, the Jazz Initiative is doing this, and Parks is doing this, and PS so-and-so has gardening, you know what I mean? So,
Sounds like a great idea. We'll
I
look
like
them up
that
with that.
idea.
all right, so it is on. Yes.
mind.
yes,
Question, sorry,
Question.
I get into logistical thing.
Yes,
It's a great idea. And I think there's so many, obviously events that are happening all the time.
yes.
This is not adding any work for the staff, correct?
No, no, no. I would be the chair. This would add work for me, the chair.
Okay.
And like I said, if let's say Noma has an event and Marty, I'm gonna shout out Marty. He's usually very good at already creating blurbs. It's just a matter of having him forward that blurb to the Instagram page and I'll just upload it. And then pinned events are happening in the moment. Once the date is over, then they become unpinned. Right? No, this is not the responsibility of the staff. This is something for me as the chair and any future chair of the PCA. Yeah, Tracy.
One, love the idea. Two, 1,000,000% support. Three, I'm just putting on my evil bylaws hat.
Yes.
And I'm wondering maybe if this.
Tracy's an attorney, so,
This is something maybe we should run by Jim and Kathy to make sure that we're not running afoul of any sort
Agreed.
of like a public approval, because it's a, I don't know,
No,
because
you're
the
right.
idea is
You're
that
right.
you're publishing something
On
and
behalf of
on
the
behalf of the community board.
Agreed.
And therefore, so my member hat is all good,
Yeah.
but the legal hat is check with someone.
And I would say along those lines, and I bet they've dealt with it, is the borough president's office,
No, you're right. Yeah.
because they deal with,
Who runs the regular CB page on Instagram? Who runs
The
that?
staff.
The staff. So, yeah, I will raise all of those questions and get back to the committee, but agreed.
I'm just, the counter narrative for why we should be able to do it is these are all the things that are going in our minutes anyway. And therefore, in theory, they're being published anyway.
Right.
We're just publishing it in a different form. But to make sure that we're not showing any sort of weird favoritism or anything, I think a Jim Kathy run it by them might be a.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I do agree. Yeah, I see it. I do agree. Yeah, I was gonna say something, but
I wonder if
no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead,
I
Dan.
was gonna say, I wonder that if that's just like another form of newslettering. Cause Kathy puts all the newsletters on email.
Yeah, but that's a lot more work than just a picture. of
No,
the
I
blurb
know,
already provided.
but.
The only reason.
Together is almost like
The only reason why I'm thinking about this is because I stayed in the city in the summer and I went to several events and a lot of the conversations that were happening is I did not know about this. How do I know about this? So there's definitely a need to centralize all of the activities so that people can take advantage of them. And because we're all on social media and Instagram is sort of like, it doesn't, if you shut down the comments, it doesn't provide any interaction like Facebook. You can just see the picture, read the event and attend it. But like I said, I do agree, and thank you for that, Tracy, that yes, this is something that needs to be discussed higher up to make sure that we're not falling into some murky waters, Yeah, I'm sorry, Jenna.
Thank you for the idea, because, we do have Heights sites, for instance, that, we send our events to, but there's not really a platform out there that gets to parks and cultural affairs.
Right.
Because Heights sites for the most part is cultural affairs.
Mhm.
So what I like about your idea too, Chair, is that when we have volunteer, like gardening volunteering, that Crystal, I'm gonna reach out to you on, but, when we have gardening volunteer events, like hindsight's doesn't help. You see, so like what you're talking about, but like really connect something in one site, so I like the idea.
So rather than going to parks to see what's happening at parks, what's happening at Noma, what's happening at the Dykeman Farmhouse Museum or the Morrissey Mill Mansion, you can just go to this one page and see, okay, these are the events that are happening. But again, I don't want to be redundant. Any other final thoughts on this? And then we'll table it, put a pin on it.
Sounds great.
Okay. Hi, Kaio. How are you? Okay, then. So with that, we're going to move to our, Danny, you're my timekeeper, right? 2 minutes. We're gonna start with programming. I'm gonna go by the order. How should I do this? Order of attendance. Joy, would you like to go first?
I know we're supposed to request. I'll just say we did this program.
Yeah. Okay, just for the new members, part of the second item on the agenda will always be program updates with the organizations that are present. Programming has to be free of charge, because then that can also get very murky if we start promoting events that charge money. So yes, it happens every time. Programming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought, that we didn't.
Yes.
request it. Okay, so, yeah, I'm with Harlem River Community Rowing, and my name is Joy Hecht, and Bob Barnett is also with Harlem River Community Rowing. I'm not supposed to just write down his last name, friend of mine. Oops. But, yeah, we row out of Muskota Marsh in Inwood Hill Park. If you're down there and you see a racing shells outside the Columbia Boathouse, that's us. Columbia's boathouse is generally empty, but we don't share that well, so our boats are not in their boathouse. And we run all kinds of programs, they are free. We beg for money from everybody, but our programs are free. So we've been doing great. We have a lot of rowers this summer. I think we've got more than 200 people going out rowing regularly, which thrills us. We've had 3 learn to row sessions. I think the 3rd one might be still ongoing or just finished. We're not running more this year because the water starts to get cold and it starts to get dark and stuff. And we have more experienced rowers out, but not beginners. So if anybody's interested in learning to row, come up to me afterwards and I'll tell you how to get on the list for next year. We have had people racing this summer, kind of informally. We have a group of people training to race, 2 groups of people training to race in the fall. One is experienced athletes and the other is people who've never raced before. So that's really exciting for them. Maybe a quarter of our people race, not more, I don't think, possibly less. And all the rest of us just like to row. So it's not about being hot shit competitors. We don't win very much anyway. And I think I mentioned last time we met, we're then in the process of have now actually bought riggers to turn one of our 8-person shells from rowing 1 oar each to rowing 2 oars each, which is kind of unusual. People don't usually have 8 people rowing with 2 oars each. So that's been really exciting. We're kind of using it to teach more people how to row with 2 oars instead of 1. That's cool. And things have been going really good. Our project for this fall winter in terms of fundraising and big purchases for us is a second motorboat, which is used by our coaches. Nobody goes out without a coach for safety reasons. If we have 2 coaches, we have 2 groups of rowers on the water at once, which means a lot more rowing. So that's our hope, is that next year we'll have a lot more rowing, including a lot more learn to row stuff.
That's time for.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, that's where we are. Any questions, ask one of us.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Did you want to make an announcement? I'm sorry, what was your, Stephanie?
Adeline.
No, Adeline, I'm so sorry. Yes, introduce yourself, yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Adeline Rodriguez, Senior Program Manager with Jazz Power Initiative. We are a nonprofit that has the motto of transforming lives through jazz, and we do so through community performances and after-school program as well for kids. I have some information that I'm gonna leave in the table for our next event, so please pass by and take a look at it and hope you can join.
Thank you so much.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
She has some great kazoos.
The zoos?
yeah, I remember your face.
I'll bring next.
There's something going viral on Instagram with like kazoos and the difference between, anyway, it's with funny stuff. Kyle.
Video.
Kyle from the New York Restoration Program. Happy New Year. This is the new year for us, yeah?
Yeah, I just would like to say that we have our programming going in.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, October. We're joining the city of Forest Day. It's gonna happen on October 4th. We're gonna do a trek to the Chestnut Grove in Highbury Park. So it's a very interesting site. Everyone is invited. And we have our volunteer programming, the Forest Group, the Urban Agriculture in the Wildlife Community Garden behind PS5. And so it's just mrp.org, and then you can go to volunteer and check the calendar.
Thank you
guys
so
are doing
much.
a great job too. I don't know if you guys can hear me. This is Andre from Assemblyman Taylor's office, but I actually live in that area. So you guys are doing a great job with that garden.
Thank you. The next person for announcements is, let's see, I'm doing it by the order. Maeve Gately. Maeve, I remember that. Maeve. Go ahead, Maeve. All right, she raised her hand, but Maeve, can you speak? I promoted you to, hold on, maybe, let me do it one more time. Hold on, Maeve. Maeve, you've been promoted to panelist. You may speak.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Maeve Gately, Hudson River Community Sailing. We just did our monthly community day 2 days ago. We had 50 members of the community come out on free sails despite the rain. So we're up to 300 people this year, and our next and last one will be on Sunday, October 5th. As we've reported, we had a busy season, and we will be doing our youth adaptive and public access programs through the end of October. It seems that Park still plans to close the marina down for reconstruction starting next year. So this will be our last season for at least the next 2 years. We have a website, dykemanmarina.org, that I will reshare with this group. We've had 350 people in the community express their experiences with the marina and what it's meant to them. And as we've reiterated in the past, we support parks doing the project, but would love to for them to have found a way to keep it open during the construction stage of the project. But as of now, we have been told that we will be out, and so the next 6 weeks will be our last for the next 2 years, which is sad, but our plans are to continue to serve our students on weekends at various other sites, and hopefully find another place for our adaptive sailing, because there is nowhere else in New York that serves New Yorkers with disabilities. So that's our update.
Thank you so much, Maeve. The next person, Laird Kelly from Uptown Paddling.
Hello, thank you very much. Uptown Paddling is the nonprofit associate organization associated with the Inwood Canoe Club. And while Inwood Canoe Club has an extensive community program serving individuals and families with weekly paddles, Uptown Paddling works with existing youth organizations to take groups of kids and their leaders out on the water as well. This year, we've done for the first time, we did an event with the Parks Urban Rangers. We did a great event on Juneteenth with a group called Uptown Dreamers, a girls running club that is based in the Armory in Washington Heights. Tomorrow we're going out with Wheels Academy, and later this week we're doing a program with an organization, a nonprofit called Uptown Stories, which is a group of writers, writing program for kids. We're going to take them out on the water, and they're going to write stories about their experience. So I'm looking forward to that. In all, we'll have 15 programs completed with 11 different youth organizations, mostly from Washington Heights and Inwood. So wanted to let you know what we're up to, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Laird. Thank you for that update. The next person, Julie McCoy. Oh, wait a minute, Alexis. Yes, I'm sorry. Alexis, did you have a question? No?
Yeah, I do. I'm like a schmuck with this unmuting and muting. Maeve, I have a question for you guys. How will you sustain your funding during this closure? And have you been lobbying? Have you been talking to any and all powers that be?
Yeah, so on the first one, it's gonna be really challenging. We're gonna have to contract next year. Certain dedicated grants we're not going to be able to get back, especially if we're not able to do some of the spinal cord injury programs that we're only able to do off dock. Dykeman has a really unique location in that it has docks and calm waters and easy access to the roads. It's really good for accessible sailing. So that's number one. And then number two, yeah, we've been contacting this group, our local elected officials, parks at large, and it seems like I said, we don't oppose the project. We just wish that it had been planned with a staging. So down at Pier 666 in Chelsea, they're building the Amtrak tunnel under the Hudson. So we're surrounded by cranes and barges, but they've been communicating with us, so it's been possible to stay open and move forward. And we had just wished that that parks had been able to do the same. So that's where we're at.
Okay, I'm going to send you a free month of a grant database.
Thank
so
you.
that you can so just jot this down, send it to my work email, alexis@cthnyc.org. And this way you can look up grants that might help sustain you during this time.
Thank you, Alexis. I'm gonna pause programming updates so that our new member, Diogenes Montano, can introduce himself.
Hi, how you guys doing? My name is Diogenes Montano. Born and raised in the community, also founded a nonprofit organization. We're subcontracting different schools in District 6, and we pretty much just trying to find a holistic approach to health for the children, and joining the community board was something important to me, especially being in the Parks Department committee. I've gotten to meet Jana, hope to get a lot of work with, and also with the team here, be able to, make more accessible places for the children to use and their families in Washington Heights and Inwood.
What's the name of the nonprofit?
Sports and health in the city.
Yes.
Thank you. The next person, let's see, Kaya Samurkas, Friends of Inwood Hill.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back, everybody. We had a great summer.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. We had a great summer. We were super busy. We have an even busier fall, so I'll just give you the highlights. We are partnering with a couple of different organizations. So some are private, some are open to the public. We have over 100 people coming to do some wetlands work as a start to Climate Week, New York City. So that's really exciting, happening 2 weeks from now. We're also taking part in City of Forest Day, like New York Restoration Project. So that's going to be a good turnout on October 4th. We're going to be doing some stewardship. We'll be leading an educational walk for kids. We have a homegrown theater troupe that's going to be doing a performance of a number of musical songs and then also writing a song about our forest just for us. So we're really excited to partner with them. And we've got a grant to pay them. So it's great to be pairing art programming, education, and the forest all together. We're also working with an artist from the Netherlands who's going to be leading a poetry walk with a Lenape poet. She's coming originally from Oklahoma, now in San Diego, coming out to do an immersive kind of poetry hike, I would say, and discussing culturally and kind of emotionally significant places throughout the park. So it's going to be a really exciting event. Getting the permitting going through that right now. And in November, we are leading a Dia de los Muertos event in partnership with Latino Outdoors, along with a bilingual winter tree identification walk. So how to identify different plants when you don't see the leaf and kind of using the environment around you to orient yourself. So it's going to be really cool. There are lots of flyers coming out. I have to make some of them still. But we're excited to share more of our updates with this committee next month. There'll be a full Monty. I absolutely agree with the email idea. I think Luana, it's going to be really amazing. So we're happy to have people, and our weekly stewardship programming is going to continue until the end of October. So there's at least 7 weeks of programs coming up. And I can share some of the social media posters that we have that list the ones that we have upcoming for September. I mean, it's just kind of a link to our social media, but it's an image. I don't know if that can go into the meetings, Alexis, but you let me know and we'll keep you posted on what we're doing here.
What it does is
you.
we use those flyers to
Mhm.
extract the information and put it in the minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds
Because
good. I can send you the image, or I can just pull it out and put it as text, whichever, or both, whichever you prefer.
Email the image. I'll send it to the people who are going to be doing the minutes for this month. But I'm glad you brought that up, Kaya. Thank you for mentioning that for everybody. Because this goes so fast, and because it's also takes a lot of time to come back through and go through the YouTube recording, it does take a very long time sometimes to do the minutes. So some people do it. Some people already sent them to me, which I thank. Please email your announcements so that it can go in the minutes directly without having to scrub through everything in case we missed anything when everybody is talking. A.Marnell, M like Mary, A, R like Robert, N like Nancy, E, L like Larry, CB12@gmail. Otherwise, we'll just put your the website and say refer to the recording. So it's just really helpful when people do that so we can get you properly, give you the proper accolades. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Noma also left some flyers with activities. If people that are taking the minutes can refer to that. Julie McCoy, did you have updates?
I do. Do you hear me?
Fantastic. Yes, I do.
Yeah, apologies being off camera. I'm traveling for work and I'm not driving, but my car won't let me do the camera. So
Julie,
on to
where are you
it. So I'm
from
Julie
again?
McCoy.
Yes, you.
Sorry, I'm from the I'm just getting to that. I am the Commodore of the Inwood Canoe Club. So we're located about 200 yards south of the marina on the Hudson River, and we just ended our casual paddling season. So many of you, well, maybe some of you don't know, we have a free walk-up kayaking program every Sunday morning from Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day weekend. So Sunday, August 31st was the last weekend of our open house program. And we do have some additional youth activities that Uptown Paddling will be providing and some shoreline cleanups. So do check our website, inwoodcanoednyc.org, for details. Our open house attendance for the summer, we had over 600 guests with nearly 1,200 volunteer hours. Many thanks to our members and prospective members who volunteered. Over all of our activities, we had 2,100 volunteer hours and 1,000 guests, and this is from our shoreline cleanups, 50 bags of trash collected from the shore along the coast there. I want to highlight 2 additional events that we had in August. So we had Heroes on the Hudson, which is organized by the Veterans Administration in the Bronx, where we put dozens of wounded warriors on the water. And we also hosted a 10K swim event with New York Open Water, where swimmers swam from Yonkers down to Dykeman Marina. So we will continue to report on events through the fall, and we will start planning for the next year. So I just want to say thank you to the community for all of your participation and support.
Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you. We also have Danielle, I hope I'm saying your last name correctly, Gaita from the Morris Mill Mansion, representing Catherine Hughes, the executive director.
Yes. Hi, Catherine sends her regrets, but I'm happy to be here tonight. I hope everybody had a fun and busy summer. We certainly did. And so Now we're moving into our fall programming. As we have each month, we have our Family and Community Day. That's going to be on September 13th. And then something that is really exciting that I'm looking forward to is our virtual programming called Connect 260 on September 17th. It's about the evolving American dream and the Harlem Renaissance. We're going to have Lauren Schoenberg from the National Jazz Museum in Harlem presenting on all the sort of really cool, multifaceted aspects that created this nationwide movement during that time period. And then one thing that I'm really happy and excited to report is that Marjorie Elliott is going to be receiving the Community Service Award, the Morris Schmelt Community Service Award, for her years of service since 1993, hosting her free jazz at the Mansion concerts, and also her musical gatherings in her home. So we're very excited to announce that. And then we're very excited to also announce that Giulietta Fiore will be receiving the Morris Schmel Mansion Excellence in Preservation Award from the Historic House Trust. She's the executive director of the Historic House Trust of New York City. So we're very glad and very happy to announce those things. And that is all for me.
Thank you. Tracy has a question.
Where are they getting this magical awards? Is it a special dinner on a particular date or something like that?
It is. It is at our annual fundraiser, the George Washington Dinner, which is going to be on September 18th at the Shabazz Center this year.
Alexis, you have a question?
Yes. How are you guys doing any papering right around the community, like for the library and things? Because especially around, because I live at 555, I actually live on the same floor as Marjorie and Elliot, and so you should all come and visit her Sundays, 3 o'clock, free jazz every Sunday. But are you guys doing any papering on a lot of your family events, etc.? Because I haven't seen it, and I know people in my building want to know more. And if you have them, I'm happy to come over and pick them up and put them in my lobby. Just let me know.
Okay, I'll pass that on to Caroline, who handles the Family Day events. So I'll let her know that. And we're very thankful for that.
Any other questions? Okay, so I'm looking at participants. If you have a programming update, please raise your hand before we move it along to parks, consolidated events, but also updates from the agency. So let me just, if you can just bear with me, raise your hand, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, yes, Andre, okay. Please state your name and the organization and your event.
I'm Andre Brimage. I am the Communications and Community Director for Assemblyman Al Taylor's office. And
oh, well, hold on. Let me promote you to panelist. Hold on. Thank you. All right. Go ahead, Andre. Where'd he go?
There. I am here. Can you guys see me? Everything here?
Yes. Hello.
Awesome. I am Andre Brimage, Community and Communications Director for Assemblyman Al Taylor's office. We actually are in progress right now or creating a update for basically a networking event. So in the month of June, Assemblyman Manny De Los Santos did a networking mixer. And so we're looking to potentially do this either right now, probably going to be at the Hudson September 26th, the last Friday. We're just working out everything. But again, I'm here to be of service to you guys in any way, shape, or form. I'll be in the meeting, but just want to let you guys know to potentially be updating yourselves with the potential drop for September 26th for a networking and building mixer for us to just be able to just get to know each other in the community, basically.
Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys.
Tracy?
Just one quick question. This September 26th mixer, is that going to be after traditional business hours or during traditional business hours?
The time slot is right now for 6 to 9. And obviously the venue is open after, but we'll just have light refreshments. And I'll definitely be updating the chair to let her know, of course, a finalization of that date. But as of right now, the time slot is for 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Any other questions?
And yes, I'm wearing the Giants hat. So if you guys are asking.
Yeah, I just have a quick one. When do you think it'll be confirmed? Because
It will be confirmed more than likely tomorrow. I just have another meeting, follow up with Abe and Anthony from the Hudson, and the member and the chief of staff. Everybody's on board. We just got to just make sure we get everything funded and locked in. But yes, you guys will get confirmation tomorrow and a flyer as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so nobody else raised, I think I've called on everybody, all of the organizations. We're gonna move it along to parks, both events and announcements, in addition to what we know about Dolphin Park. Hold on, let me just give it a minute. And then I want to send a reminder that if you have any questions, this is for our virtual audience. You can always ask your question in the Q&A and we will answer it live or we will type it out. As a matter of public record, we only address questions that are open, meaning that if you're signed on anonymously, we don't honor those questions. We want to be able to address the person that is asking that question and also include those in the minutes. Some people get very touchy when it comes to that. All right, Jenna Lasorte.
Thank you, Chair. Quick question. Do you have Carlos Acosta? I realized I gave him.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Should I call on him?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's call
Well,
Carlos.
I'm in here.
There you go. Hi, Carlos.
Is it-
Wonderful. Okay,
The camera
Carlos,
working?
hold on a second. Yeah, we can hear you. Can
Yes.
you hear us?
Hey,
Yeah,
there I am.
he is.
Okay.
Great, okay. So I'll introduce him in a moment. First of all, it's so exciting to be back. Thank you very much for inviting me up here and it's great to see everybody. We're excited to have a new member of our team. His name is Carlos Acosta, born and bred in Woodian. Is that what you call yourselves, Luana? In Woodians?
I never thought about it.
That's a good one.
Right? So we're really excited. Carlos has 9 years of experience coming to us from Partnerships for Parks. So he has expertise working with volunteers, with cultivating support, with working with dog run groups to help them learn how to. He joined us in April, but we're really launching, we're sort of in planning stages as he onboarded with us. Carlos will give you our events rundown on the CB12 meetings moving forward pretty much. And Alexis, thank you for your reminder about your email. We'll make sure that Carlos will start sending those to you as well for the minutes. Real quickly before Carlos gives our program update, we've got a lot of things on the September agenda. We do include the CB12 email. Carlos has been building a wonderful list of community partners to share our list of events with. So people can email us if they want to be added. One quick note though, Carlos, before you run through the list, the Nature Center at Inwood Hill Park, the urban park rangers there who manage the programs within the building, we help them with the site itself. A note there that they asked me to share, which is they now have these Wednesday community days. So it's really to drive sort of community usage and involvement with the Nature Center. And also, if anybody is interested in using the space, maybe for a community meeting, this will really be first and foremost priority for Inwood Hill partners, but it's open to other people too. So just wanted to make that public announcement in terms of programs and opportunities for a community space at the Nature Center. Carlos, do you want to kick off with our programs?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm gonna start off.
You have 2 minutes, Carlos.
This side.
Sorry, you have 2 minutes.
Sounds good. Give me a quick second here because this thing was on the other page.
And feel free, Carlos, too. Sorry to share more about yourself. I just gave the thumbnail sketch.
Well, yeah, like Jenna said, I'm born and raised in Inwood. I was born in the Allen Pavilion. I played in Little League and Inwood Little League there in Inwood Hill Park. So it's a great opportunity to be able to work at parks and give back to my community. I am just trying to track down these notes because I know they're there. Here we go. Okay, to start, we have tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. on Linden Terrace inside Fort Tryon Park. We have Sunrise Tai Chi. It's a great way to start your day. But later down that day at 8 p.m., we have
8 a.m.
a service project over in Roger Morris Park. And I'll share this list with Alexis later, so it'll be in the minutes. But I know I don't have a whole lot of time. And so that's one of those big days where we have a service project over in Roger Morris from 8 to 11. And we could always use the help there. And a couple other that really do pop up that come to mind is coming up on the 13th. There's another event in Roger Morris Park at 1 p.m. Where they're holding a family community day where they're creating carnival masks and collaborating with Lead Lights Ensemble, which sounds really exciting. And that starts at 1 p.m. on the 13th. So it looks like they have a full day from 1 to, it looks like almost 4 p.m. where they have, events in the park there, which is nice. And moving on, in Fort Tryon Park on the 20th, it will be National Dance Day Festival in the park, and that'll be along the Broadway path of Fort Tryon Park. And that'll be from 1 to 3 p.m. And it's essentially a way to celebrate National Dance Day with an immersive, multidisciplinary arts experience. So it'll be along that path, and they'll have the Uptown Dance Collective, showing off what's it called here? It says Tales and Altered Repaired, which is a folk dance with fairy tales and music and spoken word all woven into one fun event. Later that same week, on the 21st, we'll have a fair amount of things happening in Inwood even. So in Inwood Hill Park, we'll have the Inwood Jazz Festival happening. It'll start in Bruce's Garden, but it'll have most of the actual music will be happening in Inwood Hill Park. And so they'll have a
Carlos,
series.
that's your
That's my time?
So, yep.
Okay.
And I gave
Well,
you, I
thank you.
usually give the people like 10 more seconds because I don't want to cut you off. So
Gotcha. No,
make sure that you send all of the events, the blurbs to Alexis, and then she'll redistribute to the minute takers. Thank you so much for our minute takers tonight. Alexis, you have a question? Yes, I did see you. Go ahead.
I'm like I said, I don't know why I have such a problem with unmuting and muting, but anyway, 2 questions. One, is it ever possible that Tai Chi could make its way to, Highbridge Park?
Well, the issue is that the funding for Tai Chi comes from the Conservancy for Fort Tryon Park.
Gotcha. And question 2, and this is actually something we can actually maybe put on an agenda for another meeting. I know I've mentioned this before, but I think something I'd like to champion this year, since the street co-naming is a long process. How can we honor Sally Fisher this year with some sort of plaque or naming around the nature center or any of the places that she did so much for? I just feel like we have to do better by Sally and her memory.
I think that's a great idea, Alexis, and Friends of Inwood Hill probably would be the best leader of that. But we all can talk about that, I think outside of the meeting, but I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, if we can make that an
ongoing conversation.
Yeah. And if we could make that an agenda item, one of these months to really discuss it. I think that would be great if we could do that. I feel a great obligation to Sally and her memory and everything she did. She loved this community more than anything. And I just feel we really have to just honor her properly. Thank you.
Thank you. Daryl and then Kaya.
Just to that point, Alexis, about Sally, I think one, if we want to identify a place or if in collaboration with the Inwood Hill Conservancy, identify a place, then we can do a resolution for that, 2 parks. I will say when it comes to naming plazas, small areas within a park, that was something we did try a few years back, was pre-COVID, and we must have had half a dozen suggestions and parks took none of those. The folks in the room from parks were not there at the time, I will say that. But just in terms of like history, that did happen. But I think it's certainly worth a resolution if that's how we would like to honor her.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I understand that. Thank you for mentioning that, Alexis. I know that naming streets, that's a little bit more complicated. So I think the alternative is what you have proposed. And with that, because Kaya is here, and she raised her hand. Kaya, do you want to provide some kind of insight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Or
Sally
can you
Fisher was,
provide insight?
I can definitely try it. So I think, yeah, Sally Fisher was, even for people who didn't know her, such an incredible presence in the parks community. I mean, on this committee, just kind of being everywhere, doing everything, knowing everyone, it seemed like. And I think we would be, really honored to keep her memory and her legacy going that way. I think it's absolutely a conversation we would love to have with this committee, with the Parks Department as well. So I'm happy to discuss it, maybe out of this meeting, just to go sort of get our ducks in a row before we come to the next meeting, so we can present something cohesive that we think would be appropriate, sites that we think are particularly important to her, what parks is sort of willing to do that hopefully won't ruffle too many feathers and will really show not the singling out of an individual, but the respect of someone who did so much for the park and the communities that she was a part of.
It kind of is singling out an individual because
it is in a good way, in a
good way. Yeah. So don't yeah, it is because, and for
Yeah.
those who don't, many of you don't know Sally Fisher, she was a longtime member of CB12. She would go test the water for different levels daily. She did so much preservation. She was a nonstop activist for parks and the environment. And she passed away from cancer a few years ago. And it's still a great loss that is felt throughout the CB12 community.
Yeah, we have a number of obituaries and testimonials to her memory and the work that she did on the Friends of Inwood Hill Park website, which I encourage everyone to read. They are in English and in Spanish. I mean, it was incredible, the outpouring of work that she did and the way everyone really saw and appreciated, I think, a lot of her work. So yes, we're absolutely delighted to have that conversation, and we would very much appreciate it. Yeah, Alexis, I can be in touch. Jenna, we can talk about it. I don't want to take up any more time here, but yes, we would greatly appreciate that kind of consideration in honor of Sally's memory. The anniversary of her passing will be coming up this fall. I think it'll be, I can't believe it, 3 years now. So yeah, I think it would be very appropriate and fitting. Next year is actually, I was going to save this, but next year is going to be the 100th anniversary of the founding of Inwood Hill Park as we know it. So maybe doing something then would be kind of a nice twinning of those legacies. So yeah, we'll absolutely touch base further, but thank you.
So I had joined the community board after the passing of Sally Fisher, and I think that yes, it does merit an item on the agenda. And of course, it can always come up like during new business, but now with the ongoing conversation, I'd be interested in understanding what are the possibilities. Since the naming of a street right now is apparently a complex process, out of our purview, then what are the other possibilities to get the ball rolling in honor? There's also conversation about Mr. Cataldi also and his legacy. So yeah. So the conversation is important and I want to honor it, but I also want to ensure that now we're talking about what are those possibilities and well, what are the tangible possibilities to make something happen? Does that make sense, Alexis?
Well, yeah, that's why I thought we could have it on
Yeah.
as a separate agenda item on a
Absolutely.
future meeting.
Exactly.
You know, she did a lot. She was like getting that Inwood, the nature center back up and running was a project that was really near and dear to her heart. I know there was like right before she died, there was like a bench. I think there was she got a plaque on a bench that she was able to actually see right before she passed.
Yeah, they had like a living memorial for her. Like this was like probably a month in September. It was like either in September
Yeah.
or October, and then she passed away like the November 11th or 3rd, somewhere around there. I remember I went and took
yeah.
pictures. That was like super beautiful.
Okay, then. So the next step is to have an offline conversation about possibilities, tangible possibilities. Okay, then. All right, Parks, are you ready?
I think so.
All
All
right.
right, so
10 minutes.
some updates. The Fort Washington Park Greenway, the final community input session is being planned right now by the retaining wall team. So that should be late September or early October. So once I have the date that they send me, I will share it with the community board committee. And that will be the final, and then they'll basically look at all the community input sessions and issue summary findings and then move forward to the next phase for the Greenway needs. McKenna Square, that will be our next community input initiative. So Steve Simon is waiting for the start date on that, which we're hoping will be October. And that will be around McKenna Square and invite anybody and everybody to the table to give ideas about new ways to envision McKenna Square.
Somebody's giddy.
Yeah.
Somebody's giddy. Somebody, yeah.
Juan Pablo Duarte, we're very excited. We're going to share a really beautiful public art. 1 year, almost for 1 year, called Los Circulos, and it is beautiful, you guys. And we're gonna have an event, cloth. We thank them so much, and we enlisted Juan Pablo Duarte Foundation. We thank them. They're gonna bring some music programming. So September 30th at 6 o'clock is the event, and this will be on the list that Carlos will email the committee formally. But please come if you can. It's gonna be really fun. We're sharing this public art exhibition also with Plaza de las Americas, so at 175th. So we will have Los Circulos at Juan Pablo Duarte. It'll be up for almost a year. Beautiful. There was a presentation, you might recall.
Yes, remember
Really
that?
beautiful.
It was a presentation.
And it'll also be at the plaza. Fort Tryon Park, we also have some public art coming. We're waiting from our public art director for the installation date, but it looks like maybe late September. Some sculptures of local people around the park, some elder Dominican ladies, Trivium volunteer named Gino. So these are busts of people who are actually from the community and their stories. Larry Neal Dog Run, we're working with Avatar and the team on the next phase, which is basically phase 1 of putting in the fence line to create one of the 2 dog run areas. So this fall, we'll be working with our dog guru, Bradley Romaker from Parks, and Avatar and the team to move the money because they've been really good at fundraising. And we'll keep you up to date on that. I think they are hoping to present to you guys next month.
Which dog run is
That's the Larry Neal. That's the new dog run at 162nd and Edgecombe, across from Roger Morris Park. J Hood Dog Run, we're happy to share that we're working with them to move forward their needs and help them manage their park as they build new leadership around the run. And waiting for a designer to be assigned. We're in phase one of the three-phase capital process, which is design, and then procurement, and then construction. So the design phase I find is the most exciting because that's when everybody can kind of share the blue sky visions of what they would like to have happen. So we've been working with the Jada Dog Run for, gosh, 2 years now, on just their folks coming in, what they want to see, testing out different ground surfaces, et cetera. So that we'll keep you up to date on the designer assigned. Waterfront Access Park, this just opened. This is EDC in partnership with Parks. We will have some oversight of management because it's going to be connected to the new park, the North Cove Park. That's coming years down the road, 2027. So this is a waterfront access park that was created essentially at 207 and University Bridge. So if you're standing looking at the bridge to the Bronx, on the left side, if you walk in right there, it's a new development building. Congressman Espaillat has the new, the cultural center happening there. And along the water is a sweet little pocket park, that will eventually be connected to the larger EDC park that we will manage, after it's built. So that is open for everybody. It's a quite nice little vista. There's still a little fishing shack there if you want to fish. And another note is Juntos. So Carlos and I are part of the community coalition called 180 Juntos, which is around Quisqueya Playground, 180 in Amsterdam to St. Nick. So those 2 blocks of 180th to St. Nicholas Ave. This was started, kind of jump started by New York Presbyterian and their community health initiative. Trying to build partnerships around that area. So we have Quisqueya Playground there. To work with different interested parties, like Radio Hotel is a member, the Washington Heights Food, I just forget their, Wista, it's the food,
Oh.
you know what I'm talking about, they replaced the post office, yeah.
Food Council?
Yes, thank you.
Where?
I always forget their acronym. Columbia University, the DA's office, Jocelyn, On Point, which is one of our partners in our parks. So Alianza, there's like a growing coalition of partners, 181st Street bid, to work on those 2 blocks, to engage the community, hear what they want, try to deliver some of that. And also work to make Quisqueya Playground, as we seek to open it, because we have contractor issues there with the bathroom, more, just more fun, because that corner by Radio Hotel and Quisqueya Playground is a car crash every day, like literally and figuratively. So capital updates, Quisqueya, as I mentioned, we have a delay there due to the contractor, so we're waiting to hear from our capital unit on a new contractor. It's just the bathroom, that's what we're waiting on, but a reminder to folks that the playground itself is still open. Portion of it actually, but the bathroom is not, as we try to wait for the contractor to finish it. Monsignor Ket, we're waiting for DOB to sign off on a certificate of occupancy so that we can open the bathroom there, at Monsignor Ket. We're hoping for, late September, early October for that sign off to happen. And then we'll work, we will share the announcement, but we likely will not have a ribbon cutting for that, as we had a ribbon cutting for the whole playground itself. 186 basketball court work is underway.
Yes.
Yes, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, the local people are very geeked about it. They're asking questions, looking in daily. Fortunately, only about 4 parking spots were affected, so that was good. That'll be about a year. So we're looking at spring 2026 for that to be finished. Inwood ball fields 1, 2, and 4, the work continues. We were able to get water back to the dog run. The contractors worked hard to try to do a workaround, which they figured out. And that is spring 2026 for those 3 fields. Not synthetic, just so everybody knows.
Again, we said this so many times.
Grass.
It will be grass.
Yes, you can even smoke it maybe, I don't know. Anyway, Lily Brown Playground, the work continues there. We had a little bit of a hiccup with a Con Ed gas line, but finally figured that out. So we are back on track, thanks to Jody Herson, who has been helping us around Lily Brown as we need to build volunteer support around that playground, particularly when it comes back. It's gonna be beautiful and there are gonna be some opportunities for more programming and engagement and I think we could even hopefully bring in some picnic tables and really, really make that space come to life even more. The inward retaining wall work continues on Payson. That completion is gonna take until 2026. We don't have an end date on that. That's to shore up that wall that you can't even really see, but you can see all the barricades, yes. The Isham retaining wall is another wall that you can't really see, but we have to shore that up. That is by the Memorial Circle, the Isham Park. And that's this fall, hopefully by November, that'll be done. J Hood Right, we have the ramp work that's gonna begin to improve the ramp, and for ADA access in particular. And that'll begin October 1, and we expect a year, construction on that.
Sorry, that's the ramp to.
From Pinehurst, that goes in
Oh,
J
yeah,
Hood.
right,
Mhm. We had to work with the building adjacent, and that was part of the delay. 181st Steps, we have some wonderful volunteers here who work on those gardens. It's a green thumb garden, but not technically, sort of a handshake green thumb garden. So I'm sure they will mention this, but we're trying to help the volunteers at the 181st Pinehurst Steps Garden to try to get back on track. We're hoping, once the scaffolding can come down, because we had a capital project lined up last year that has had to be delayed because of the two buildings that had scaffolding up. Reminder about the capital tracker. So anybody who is interested, you can always go on NYC Parks website. Just Google capital tracker NYC Parks, and that you can look at any borough. You can look up any project and see where it's at in the three-step process: design, procurement, or construction. That's it.
So before, there's a question, before I move to question from the public, yes, question?
Yeah, but go ahead.
No, I don't have a question. I'm gonna read this question. Do you have a?
Oh, yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll definitely-
Two questions. I think you know what it is, Dan.
You can start.
Well, one question, Gorman.
Yes,
Favorite time.
sure. Status?
Status,
Okay.
status update.
So Amelia Gorman has been a big focus of mine since I started in 2023 as well, and as a local for 18 years. And we have some good news going. A couple quick notes. So on the terrace level up Wadsworth Terrace, the one Wadsworth Terrace building is supposedly moving forward and going into active construction, which will really help us because it has been a blight on that area up there and has really allowed for a lot of negative activity to take place. So we're hoping to meet with them and connect on that to see what, if anything, that can do to help sort of animate the terrace. Two, we're really looking for programming, for partnerships and programming on the terrace.
Jazz.
Yeah, Arlene, I agree. And we want some salsa parties. This terrace, if you haven't been to the Wadsworth Terrace at Amelia Gorman Park, it is gorgeous and it is open. It has been open the whole time.
Hispanic Heritage Month is
Yeah.
coming.
Yes, so, but we need programming partners, and particularly in that area. So please feel free to connect me with folks as Carlos and I try to work to develop localized partners, but also, uptown partners. Three, we are working with our commissioner and the councilwoman on some funding on the expense and capital side. It's looking like good news, for an approach that will allow us to open the lower Broadway level. We have worked, Carlos and I, with some volunteers, Liz Artie, who's amazing, with her gardening group. Inwood Academy with Tatiana, and some other folks who've come out to do some horticulture, tree mulching. We're looking to do on the lower Broadway to improve the streetscape entry area while we get the money needed to kind of go into the lower section of the park. The challenge has been that, the construction contractor requirements for that slope, which is like this. The contractor quote was $4 million just to even access this. Wow. So it continues to be a really funding issue, but there is good progress underway that we hope to be able to announce later this fall.
Let me read this question.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Other I think it's quick.
Okay,
Okay.
because I want to give everybody a fair chance.
Okay, also an update on the sinkholes on the west side.
On the agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's part of the Greenway study.
Oh,
They were
Yes.
fixed.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give board members priority to ask questions, and then Adam, I see your question. I will ask it in a minute. Yes, Danny.
So, two quick questions. I'm asking for, part of the community. The Payson Playground, the public restroom that's out over there, you have any?
The plumbing issues there just continue. It's really, it's been a really deep challenge, much like the Inwood Nature Center plumbing challenges that we have. So I don't have an answer. Our shops unit, now that pools is over, we are hoping that we can get our shops unit out to really address that need. Our shops unit is the unit that fixes everything. They're our trades unit, and when pools are in season, like they are, like they're working overtime just on pools. So now that pool season is closed, we're hopeful that we can get more focus time with them on this issue at Payson for the bathroom.
Yeah, and I know that they also mentioned that there's like there's an indoor area for that place that's, cause like people with, what you call it, like, people who take care of kids, they go in there, yeah, daycare and stuff. I don't have
It's not
kids,
open
so-
to the public.
That was
Yeah.
adorable. I adore you, and that was adorable.
Cause I had a
It is not open to the public.
yeah, I had a conversation with someone and they were like saying that, I think that at some point that was like a place where kids can go in.
Well,
I think on like.
Madam Chair here hit me to the fact that she went to school there, so.
Payson preschool,
That's right.
baby.
Yeah, but it has not,
Payson
it has
preschool.
not been open to the
I'm a
public.
student, I'm a
Okay.
graduate of Payson
Yeah.
preschool.
Yeah.
And
And we're
then,
gonna get that into the project, so, yeah.
and then the other thing, I don't know if this is parks or this is DOT, there's just like this crazy big sinkhole. In Margaret Corbett Drive going down before.
It's us, and
Okay.
we've already fixed it twice.
Oh, wow, yeah, the whole is
it's
like
broken
huge.
pipe infrastructure that actually is deep under the park.
Ooh,
We have a broken pipe at Billings Lawn too, which we just got funded to repair, and we haven't been able to fix it yet.
okay.
And part of it is the terracotta.
You should,
pipe.
you should have, New York Roadrunners fix that for you guys.
New York Roadrunners.
Yeah, cause they have
They
a
have
race,
tractors?
they have I don't know, but they have a race that goes through there and you should talk to them to see, right?
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
why?
the Shamrock, yeah, the
Yeah.
March Run.
Why not?
Maybe see if they have some fun there to give
Yeah.
them first. Okay, thanks, Danny.
No problem.
Noemi? Huh? Noemi, you have a question for Parks?
Hey, good evening, everyone. I just wanted to give Johnny and Parks a compliment for restoring that entranceway in 170th on Edgecombe. So that's pretty nice. So thank you.
Yay.
I know there's
Well,
been a lot of
yeah.
lights also repaired. So shout out to you guys for making sure that Parks is parking or parking, whatever the phrase would be. Just one thing I did notice is that there's like some type of sewer drainage situation that's happening. It's right around the lines of like 169 and Edgecombe, that area. So there's like a stream of water that's coming down. So I'm not sure what's happening there. I did make a call to 311 so they could come and fix that, but that's all from over here. And thank you guys.
Noemi, thank you so much. A quick note, we will check into that. I wasn't aware of the water, so that's really helpful. We'll check on that. And two, that, yeah, we fixed a dead end. It was formerly a dead end that had like a guardrail. If you were walking on the path, you had to like jump over the guardrail. It was crazy. So we fixed that and it's way better now. And I just want to flag for the committee that this is also related to a goal of mine that we can eventually get funding to reopen the terrace that's there. There is a glorious huge terrace there that has been closed for 10 years.
Beautiful.
And it is waiting to be one of the most special event spaces for our school right there, like the Mirabelle School, for the CB12, for Highbridge, for the police. like in any of the folks who are over there. It's really beautiful. And also working to connect it with the Aqueduct Trail.
If you walk up Edgecombe and like look over to your right hand side, you can see like it's all hidden behind vines and stuff. That it's like glorious.
It better not be Kutsu.
No. it's not
Okay.
Kutsu.
Oh, good.
It is like Lara Croft Tomb Raider though.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I'm gonna move, Alexis, you had a question before I start moving to questions from the public. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead, Alexis.
I'm gonna sign off and say goodnight. I gotta lay down.
Oh, feel better, feel
Okay.
better.
Sorry
Thank
about
you.
that, guys.
Bye, Alexis. All right, so Adam Fran is asking, I have heard that the Fort Washington Greenway Bridge over the Amtrak tracks will be closing for renovation. Is this true? Is there any further information? Thanks.
That is actually in my colleague's district. Fort Washington Park, we have from basically the tunnel up north and everything east of the tracks. So I will check on that. Who was asking? Adam Fran?
Adam Fran.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will check on that with my colleague John Carroll.
And then
Can I just add something there? I'm down there all the time and just tell me the number of the district. I never know.
14. Well,
14.
mine is 12. Yeah, yeah.
So when the truck comes up and they clean, they've been dumping garbage there, so I spoke to the supervisor once. They come up to the bridge and what they did one day was the guy got out, but he walked under the tunnel and checked, and they apparently do the graffiti in the tunnel.
That's, yeah, so
But if you're-
our team stops at the entry of the tunnel. So that's where.
Okay, see, I was always told that they stop at the bridge because they can't get the truck over the bridge.
It's about a geographical division that was created way before me.
I know,
Yeah.
and then I think the other issue is also, is that Amtrak or Park?
Yes. Well, Amtrak also sometimes can cause challenges.
Believe me, they know. But I was just curious about that spot because they do, but they're doing graffiti in the tunnel.
Inside the tunnel is 14. The tunnel on the east side, in like the entrance, sometimes you'll see graffiti on the exterior entry of the tunnel on the east side. That's my team.
Well, okay, but what about the other side?
That's 14.
I think we're being,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
I think it's been clear that it's out of
It's
CD
not my
12.
jurisdiction.
Yeah.
But I'll check in.
Well, what about inside the tunnel then?
That's 14.
That's 14.
Yeah.
Now, is your team really taking care of the curve and the hill coming down? Okay,
Yeah.
you might send,
We can talk offline about
That's
resources
fine.
and what's possible, for sure. Yes.
I think it was clear. I just want to do a quick time check because we still have one more item in the agenda, on the agenda. I think it was clear. Do you want to emphasize Dolphin Park one more time?
Sure.
And then before that, I received a concern regarding the removal of benches. I don't know if it was Fort Tryon or the Ring Park. Okay, I guess the better way to phrase the question is, are there benches being removed
From where?
from parks, from CD12 parks?
Not unless.
Not
they've
that you
been
know of.
burned or they're broken down.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no intentional removal of parks benches for any reason.
Great.
Other than repair or replacement.
Great. Yes.
my real question was gonna be about the 181 steps.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, the good news is that the scaffolding is coming down, Sharon left, but apparently what they've done is the contractors left tons of dirt and the wood. Are you able to make sure that the contractors remove all that stuff? Or, because physically, she's home, physically they can't do it, it's like huge wooden things.
Yeah, so again, here's a challenge.
Yeah,
Agendu is your liaison from Green Thumb.
Who is?
Agendu.
Okay, so
yes.
give me that contact and then we'll
Sure.
follow up that way.
Absolutely.
The second
And I
question
just
is-
wanted to share though, Carol, that Chris and I have shared with Sharon and Jean that we're happy to provide if we've got some tools or some
Yeah, but
to help
this
you with.
this is physical, they have both said.
Yep.
This is like.
But sometimes Igendu from Green Thumb, for instance, might lean on us. Green Thumb is part of parks, but it's not under my auspices. So that we
Right,
might be
so
able to
they
lend
would
some
do
vehicles,
something.
et cetera. Yeah,
Well, I still think it's a contractor's responsibility.
but I agree.
The second question is, now that it's been removed, the rat problem is
Yeah,
constantly ongoing.
Yeah.
So I have a contact with sanitation, but that's for the garbage, and that's how I asked you the question,
Yeah.
of who do you think I should contact? Garbage part, what do
Sure.
we do until this gets?
Yeah,
straight?
no, this has been a chronic issue and it has gotten worse with the contractors. Yeah.
Yeah,
So rat remediation comes from our borough crews and I can request that and also, but Igendu would move that forward with our borough
Okay.
crews unit. So I can definitely put you on email with Igendu.
perfect, that's why
Okay,
I
sure.
asked you also, thank you.
So before we go on
Oh,
to the
go.
next item, I just want one more time for Parks to respond to the Dolphin Park issue
Mm.
in light of the New York Times article.
Sure. So as people hopefully know, Dolphin Park is not an NYC park. It is a Port Authority created playground that has been locked for, I think, 5 years. And the New York Times did a story on it. Elizabeth Ritter was featured in it. And this generally is a request, I believe, for the Port Authority to open this park and manage it. And that's that.
And just for clarity, it is not officially called Dolphin Park.
No.
It is
What
the
is it?
George Washington Bridge.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
the Dolphin Park for some reason.
There's a dolphin in it.
Spring Lake. That's what it
Yeah.
is, yeah.
And locally, that's what we all call it. It's a
Right,
black
and
hole.
the
There's an
New York
elephant in
Times,
there.
yeah, yeah, and the New York Times did contact me because they wanted me to speak on it, but the rule is that we don't speak on behalf of CB12. The only person to do that is Kathy Diaz.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but I'm happy that what may happen in conversation with members of the community board is that there is a possibility of writing a resolution. That can be a three-way or three-prong resolution coming from youth and education, parks, and traffic and transportation. For the powers that be to open this park. And because we cannot even, I was going to propose, and that's gonna be a segue, before I answer, the segue to ideas and projects. Apparently, we cannot even put in a proposal for city council to fund this project because it falls under the purview of the
That's
Port
right.
Authority.
Right.
So I was ready to come in and mention this as the proposed idea for new projects for ranking, but that's not possible.
Right.
So,
And-
great, yeah, go ahead. Oh, okay.
Well,
yes.
two things there. One, it's very challenging for us, at NYC Parks, anytime there are new items in the portfolio, whether it's a playground, whether it's a park, whether it's a public restroom that is put in our portfolio, we need ideally to receive resources to match that, and for maintenance and staffing, et cetera. So that's one note there. Two, you remind me, Chair, to mention something related back to Sally Fisher, and naming. So you mentioned, Daryl, naming changes with the Commissioner of Parks. So every commissioner of NYC Parks who comes in changes, puts their own stamp on how, if, when park properties are renamed. And sometimes that's related to state legislature. So if it was named under state legislature, then it's a whole state legislature process. Parks can't do anything about it. The state legislature has to put in, legislation to change the name. So just a note on Sally Fisher that I fully want us to look at all the blue sky opportunities around that, maybe the nature center, for instance, and we have to see what's most likely, and I have unfortunately nothing to do with it. It has to come from the commissioner level.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Tracy.
Just want to take a step back for about all the parks announcements. You mentioned the aqueduct walkway. Is that parks or
Greenway?
the Greenway?
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah,
My bad,
no worries.
my bad. Is that Greenway parks or is that traffic?
So good question. The Fort Washington Greenway, Fort Washington Park is below, where Dykeman ends?
Yes.
If you go north, you're in Inwood Hill Park. If you go south, you're in Fort Washington Park. So Inwood Canoe Club is in Fort Washington Park. Hudson River Community Sale is in Fort Washington Park. The Greenway goes from Dykeman south. And when you get to the entrance of the tunnel past the 181st Street footbridge, that becomes my colleagues' portion of Fort Washington Park. The footbridge over 181 is DOT.
And the walkway from 168th-ish Street through over the bridge, over High Bridge. This
Now
is-
you're on, now you're at High Bridge Park.
I'm now at High Bridge Park. I'm switching parks. I'm in a new park. High Bridge Park.
Keeping up.
High Bridge Park, that walkway is
The
that.
Aqueduct Trail.
The Aqueduct Trail.
Marquee
That's what I meant to say. See,
Yes.
I was
Yes.
aqueducting.
Okay,
Okay,
that meant, we manage that.
okay. And when it comes to all of the motorized vehicles on that, that's
There's
under your.
nothing we can do.
Yeah, okay.
That is an NYPD enforcement issue or a PEP, Parks Enforcement Patrol. Parks Enforcement Patrol, now that we're at a pools and beach season, we hope to have our 4 officers on duty above 125th river to river to the end of Manhattan. 4.
That's
Sounds like a lot of officers.
And so you can imagine. So you can imagine they triage what they can run.
So it's not like if you guys get
So,
to write
and
all the
also-
tickets, you guys don't keep
And
that
also
money.
keep in mind, Miss Tracy, that like NYPD or PEP has to catch it in
In
action.
Right, yeah, right.
I was-
Well, I will say, I just love that walkway. It's great.
It is,
It's so nice.
It's gotten
It is, and on a rainy day, it's like Narnia. It's fantastic.
It is.
So that's a good segue because now I want to get this meeting done by 8:30, like usual, 8:30. So everybody, well, former, older, well, not, I don't want to say old members, but the new members did not get this email perhaps, but ranking season is coming up in October, but before that happens, we have to submit either existing projects for capital and programming. I know that for the past 3 years, well, I'm entering my 3rd year as chair. We have the same projects, and I thought, as Tracy presented last year, a possibility of including newer projects during this ranking season. And rather than having these discussions in October, you know that October tends to be our longest meeting because of the ranking, we can spend 2 minutes each doing a pitch of a possibility. Everybody got the email. I said, come prepared with 1 or 2 projects in the essence of time. I mean, we can discuss it in October also, but we're not going to be taking an additional hour to discuss new projects. So I figure that we can get our toes wet in presenting, pitching, sending those projects to the district office so that they can include it in the Excel sheet. And then we can discuss in October the projects that no matter how much we try to advocate, it's not going to happen, like realistically speaking, right? But also identify areas where like funding,
Like Pace and Playground.
like Pace and Playground, for example. So, I mean, I can start.
I
Yeah.
just, can I have an informational question so we can
Sure.
appropriately make our pitch?
Yes.
Can we have like a part of this about proposing new projects is to also propose a number with it, right? Like this is what we're asking the city, Ayo, give this money for this magical new project. So just so we're in the correct ball range, like what is the general cost of maintenance or something for something like McKenna Park? So when we create, you see where I'm at? Yeah, is that?
Let me ask, can I ask?
Yeah.
I think I understand what you're saying. I don't think, in my experience, I guess I'm gonna follow up with another question, right? Whenever we ranked these projects, I don't think we ever looked at what would the price tag be. We just identified that, for example, there's a pathway that needs paving and we don't know, we're not contractors, we wouldn't know, we're just identifying that this needs funding and it needs either it's a capital project or a programming project. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah, so.
that answers my question, so we
Yeah.
don't need to magically
No.
have a sense of numbers. Moving on. Withdraw.
Like one that I know that will never get eliminated is Amelia Gorman. And we don't know how much this costs to rehabilitate Amelia. We just want to rehabilitate it, right? It's just identifying it, and then it's up for city council to decide this is too much money, we're not gonna fund it. Or what have you, if that makes sense.
If you want a general window, we could probably help you. But
Exactly.
But to your question, Tracy, our capital unit unfortunately can't go pricing all.
No,
But we could give you
yeah.
a general window if you
Yeah,
want.
I didn't know, I wasn't sure to create work, I guess the thing is that recognizing that a lot of times there is a set budget. We don't wanna thin out the overall budget, being like, here's the 4 more projects that we would like to propose. But I guess that's exactly what we're supposed to do, and then make the city
Yeah.
council to give us more money.
Exactly, because otherwise we're just gonna be recycling the same
Right, no,
projects over and
1000%.
over again, and we're trying to be creative and proactive in
Absolutely.
identifying that, okay, this spot is sort of like an eyesore, and
Right.
yeah, go ahead, Daryl.
2 things. One, do you have the spreadsheet from last year?
I
That was
emailed
fun.
it, yeah,
Oh, it
well,
was
that's coming in October. We're not looking at last year's projects, we're gonna add projects to the existing list.
But I don't remember what was on the list from last year. You know.
I
It'd be
did email
helpful to
it.
have the list,
Yeah,
yeah. And
Well, I did
the other
email
thing,
it.
just for the new members who may not know, like, we prioritize from the committee level here, and then we send those
right.
to the full list. And then the entire board then prioritizes again.
Right, but that's for the October meeting. This meeting was about, and this is why I sent the email with last year's list. Have you, in your walks, for example, this summer, did you identify something that can benefit from city council funding that we can present for it to be ranked?
3.
I mean,
I got 3?
Right.
All right, so let's go around. I mean, I said 1 to 3 projects. Danny, do you want to start?
There is a
I don't have access to my email here.
there's a single pull-up bar.
And then, I'm sorry, Dan, to interrupt. This is just a pitch, then you're gonna send it to me in writing.
Cool.
To include it to the list that we will be discussing in October.
I go
Okay.
from north to south. There's a
Give yourself 2 minutes.
Okay,
We're all good, just 2 minutes,
I got you. Hold on,
or maybe 3, you know what, I'll
two,
do
two,
3.
two, two, two. Two is fine for me.
Elevator pitch.
There is a single pull-up bar that has been there, just hanging out in Inwood Hill Park, and it's old, and it's just still standing, which is great, but I think with the new workout station that they have out in Dykeman Fields, I would think that could be a small project to like make new. Two, going more down is Dykeman Fields, the skating rink. That skating rink could be.
It's 2 of us, that's 2.
That skating rink could be rehabilitated either to be a multi-purpose area. Ideas are open-ended right there. And then the other one was repaving the basketball courts in Sunken Meadow playground, because all those basketball courts have a bunch of cracks on them. So I don't know how much it costs to repave anything, but that was just what I saw.
Chair, do you want me to give notes, because that's already on the list?
But this
To happen.
is.
Okay.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Great, okay.
So like I said, I just want to emphasize that this is not formal, it's not written in
Mhm.
stones, this is just a starting
Mhm.
conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we're not recycling the same projects every year, and as a committee,
Mhm.
we also need to be creative and mindful in our observations about the community and what needs now. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So 2 of those are already on the list. The multi-use rink idea, so working with Ben Cohanen, who's a local advocate
am.
of parks.
You can
We've
announce it.
started a process that we're gonna hopefully be able to announce later this fall to kind of design a community survey, an input session in Spanish and English for what people would like to see there. But it seems to be desired to be multi-use. We also think that it could be a concert area and really, lend itself to some special events along the river. So that's coming down the pike. Two, the sunken playground courts are already on the list for our state of good repair. That's gonna happen. Our team already did the north court. So, and also you might have noticed at Sunken Playground that we also got the stairs fixed and we painted the whole ramp down.
Yeah.
And we're actually possibly looking at some public art components to go in the little arches.
Nice.
So two of those three, and the single bar at Inwood Hill drives me crazy.
Yeah,
So-
because it's just one bar there, it just takes, oh, look, I'm
But
yeah.
yeah,
So if it's already being looked at by parks, does that mean that it's off our list?
Great
Or do
question.
we include it in the list for October?
great question, Luana. I think that the rink, for instance, would still need funding. But we have it on our list for the community engagement portion, but it would still need funding. The sunken playground court, I will double check, but I believe the funding's already there in the state of good repair.
Great. So when you send me the email, Danny, just make sure that,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
So anybody else would like to pitch? Cause I'm ready to pitch. So let's go around. So Payson preschool I still have my graduation program. When it was that mimeograph and you took a sniff, I don't know, how is it that Gen X is not like addicts? You know what I mean? Sniffing. I know that we can reimagine this space. I understand that there are liability issues, that we can no longer make it into a preschool. This is where I went to school and then played in the Payson playground. So I'm just putting it out there. I don't know what can happen. I just want the space reimagined into a public space.
Real quick note there.
Yeah.
The last appraisal we got for fixing up Payson, the building was 15 to 17 million. The playground, I think would move faster. And that would likely be 5 to 10 million, somewhere in there for the playground renovation. Just a note.
Oh, but I'm not talking about the playground. I'm
I
talking
know.
about just the building,
But I'm sharing with you both.
both.
The
Okay.
building, 15 to 17 million. And the playground, probably 5 to 10 million, depending on what was designed.
The second project, of course, is the roller skating rink. I don't know if it can be via concession. I mean, last year I roller skated. I had to go all the way to Brooklyn to Lefrak to roller skate. As an avid, no,
Prospect
Brooklyn,
Park.
Brooklyn,
Oh.
right. I think there's some of us that like low impact exercise and also looking cute. I did fall on the streets of New York, I'm not at the age where I can fall anymore, but yeah. For those of us that don't like running, jogging, I don't like any of that, but I will roller skate.
I have happy news for you. Fingers crossed. So I'm executive director of the Conservancy for Portland Park as well as my administrative role. And we're working, this probably won't happen until next year, but we're working on pop-up roller skating rink at Ann Loftus and pop-up ice skating rink.
Nice, let's go.
And that would be quite convenient for you.
Yes, yes, but I'm with Danny. I'm still going to and the third one, did anybody get to attend, I wasn't able to, a walkthrough by PS28, the Wright brothers. I believe there is a playground. There was a gentleman that came in. I want to put in that space and reimagine it. One, because there's a school right there.
Yep.
And I know that me being in Inwood, at times, those of us that live we call it upstate Manhattan, we tend to have a lot of blind spots in terms of,
lower.
and I want to honor his activism in just like starting the conversation, doing a community walkthrough, and I want to be able to also submit that for ranking.
Great.
If
to-
it falls under that.
Yes,
purview.
great to know. Damon, we work well with him. Sebastian, he's a real, dedicated steward. And the playground itself is in pretty good shape, but the basketball court needs some work. The cracks in the court. I will note that the two handball courts, that's actually in the school's property. And that is a school construction project that's going to happen, and they're gonna turn that into a soccer pitch.
Yes, that was a
And it will-
$300,000 check
And that
from,
has nothing to do from parks.
exactly,
That
that
is
came from council,
SBI
yeah, and
school
De La Rosa's
construction.
office,
Yes, and De
Okay.
La Rosa. But it will not close down the basketball court, by the way, like they'll still have full access. But we are working to find funding to improve the courts. And we've had site visits with him and
Great.
we're also working on just rat remediation and how we can maybe take out some of the plantings that were designed. Just to help, clear the space. And we recently fixed the bathroom.
Great. That's my pitch. Okay. Daryl, you're up.
Sure, a few things, and this might already be on the list, I don't remember. In terms of the ADA access. I always look at all of our parks, like what are the main features of that park and are those features accessible?
Mhm.
And I know like in Jacob Wright Park, that plaza,
Terrace
the
area.
terrace, that's not
Yeah,
accessible, even
yeah.
though it's a
Mhm.
main feature, it's in movies,
Sure.
it's in all this stuff. And then at at 190 Cabrini.
The A train?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like there. When you go in there, Linden Terrace is not.
Oh, right. So there's some challenges, as we all know. We are in the hilliest, steepest, slopest area of Manhattan. And bedrock sometimes is the issue. Quite often it's the cost.
Yeah.
So for instance, to make Amelia Gorman ADA, I believe is like $30 million.
Yeah.
So this is an ongoing challenge. Parks, has the mandate of any new construction, trying to see what can be made into ADA. And if we have the funding to do it. So that's the challenge there. Linden Terrace, for instance. We have had some meetings to see what it would take, and that's probably 15 to 20 million to make it ADA. The other challenge with Linden Terrace right now is the root upheaval that's happening with the trees. And how to even get machinery in there. Yeah.
And the other thing with Fort Tryon Park too is two areas. One by the like volleyball courts. And then whatever's just to the north of that volleyball court. I don't know if there's bocce ball at one.
Yeah, we're not sure.
And then on the other side, on the side by the river, it seems like there's a lot of parks dumping of vegetation and stuff.
It's from storms. We're not dumping anything. It's the storms.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
At one point it was usable, but it has not
Not.
been usable for like 20 years or more.
So a couple of words there. So, Cabrini Woods, which is a nature sanctuary that's been closed for a long time. We actually, through the trust, I was able to secure an anonymous donation. So we are working to reopen Cabrini Woods, which is and we'll have 2 trails in there. We're working on that. Our goal was fall. We'll see if it can happen. So this is all with the trust, in partnership with parks, and our natural resources group. So that is like basically from one, where 360 is, 360 in Cabrini. It's the last building on Cabrini. There up to the cottage where our team works. That's like Cabrini Woods, the nature sanctuary. By the arcade, below the arcade. That is a massive water storm issue that we are continuing to contend with. And I've actually been I was able to get a grant from Con Edison to fix the Billings lawn issues. Now we have one in for Pine Lawn, which is the next lawn. And then the third phase would be trying to fix the arcade down to the Hudson Highway.
Yeah.
Because we have water that pools there at the bottom of the arcade that actually starts rolling into the highway. So I don't know if that's the area we're talking about with the vegetation, but I think it is.
I think like right when you're leaving the Cloisters and you go across the street where the bus is. And then straight ahead.
Oh, gosh, I think that's behind where the garbage is. And okay, we can do a site visit.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned one other area. Sorry, I was gonna.
Oh, the volleyball court.
Volleyball. So the good news there is we're waiting for MTA They are planning an ADA accessible option for the 190, the A train. They're gonna have two designs, they told us, one that they will select. One may be the elevator coming up to Fort Washington from the terrace exit. The other one could be a ramp that goes behind the building. They're working that out right now with their design team, so we're waiting to hear on that and when that would start. On the trust side, we've raised funding to work on the recreational components of that back area. But we have to raise funding for a wrought iron gate so that we can actually close off that area. So the bocce court would be replaced by Gaga, which is an Israeli dodgeball game. That was under Jennifer's purview. That was something that had been requested. So that has been funded, but we have to install it. The ping pong continues to do well. We want to upgrade the volleyball courts, as you mentioned, and build out the gating of that. And also the other challenge there, that slope behind MTA building going into the volleyball area is really, it's full of like holes and it's very dangerous. And it's so we have to get a contractor. Sorry.
Who would like to pitch next? Okay, go ahead, Crystal.
So the first one is just a spin-off of PS 28, just kind of like, I know we spoke about, I think NYCHA owning that lot kind of right next to, but it's the walkway going, they didn't have proper lighting, it's just very dark at certain times, yes. So maybe just, I would say make it a L. And when you start getting to the cobblestone and closer to St. Nicholas, just making all that beautiful. They do have a set of tables and chairs that's already there, but I think if the walkway is open, just extend it. Have tables and chairs throughout the walkway, maybe not so much towards the PS 28.
It's DOT. It's DOT.
Okay, the second one, okay.
Yeah, so. Yes, go ahead, yeah.
Okay, the second one is just, it's in the same area, but on the other side of the 155th Street, Dunkin' Donuts. There's a nice triangle there where people do have their dogs run, but I just feel like the benches there are tired.
Okay.
We could even do checker tables and face them towards one another. It's not a lot of interaction. I mean, you can walk from the 155th Street train station, but there's a lot of space for even better benches.
Does that fall on the parks?
Yes, that is Luminary
There you go.
Lawn, and that is the southern end of Highbridge Park. And Danny actually has his bird mural right there.
Okay.
And that is an area of focus that we want to improve. And yes, and
And they
eventually
also
will be a
have
good start.
issues with staying clean.
Yeah, people use it as a dog run. It's not. And one of the reasons it's not a dog run, nor will likely ever be, is because it is a heritage memorial site to the luminaries of Sugar Hill. So while we are still here, Karen Taylor held her wonderful annual event there. But we would love to do more programming there and build more partnerships if anybody's interested. But
I'm interested.
Great, good, Crystal. Okay, I'll reach out.
Tracy.
Yo. That's where I'm starting. So.
It's about to be serious.
No, it's like, is it DOT? I want it to be parks. It's the triangle at 162nd Street where Amsterdam and St. Nicholas cross. You know, in the West Village, every single area like that is actually a square. It's Winston Churchill Square, it's Little Red Square, it's Jackson Square. All of those type of triangles have been marked off as private parks with gates and actually close every evening. And because it's a park, which means it closes at evening, it cuts down on any sort of evening shenanigans. Because the triangle at 162nd Street is essentially one large sidewalk. Sidewalks never close, which means legally people can be there at all hours of the night. Now, I see I think it's DOT doing magical gardening and stuff. It's beginning to get beautiful. What can we do to give it to you, Jenna? We need it to be a park, a square, girl.
Yes, Tracy, that's actually Parks crew doing that magical.
I know, girl.
Did you notice that we took down the fence too?
I did.
Yes, so that is DOT, but it is chronically annoying to me as well. And I asked for the fencing to be taken down by our borough crews team because it was part of the problem. It has gotten better.
It has.
Yes.
Because
So,
of the flowers.
yes, but also taking that fence line.
Yes.
So it is not a parks
I
property,
know.
but, we've been trying to do something with it, while it figures out its rightful ownership.
What could a community board do to assist in helping it develop to a rightful ownership?
Well, one of the thoughts, Alexis and I had talked about this, is, Seatown's right there, for instance. There are a lot of businesses, quite often these squares that are in business areas benefit from the local business owners caring for them and being involved. And, this is like Juan Pablo Duarte. It could use that too.
Right.
Like the Dunkin' Donuts that's right there, or the wine shop, or the bodega, their sandwich shop. So this is one of the things, Carlos, now that he's on our team, we're hopeful that we can work on trying to meet some of these folks and encourage them to get involved. Because the folks who work and live right there, but particularly the businesses, have investment in working to make these spaces better and clean and, programmed ideally. Now, because parks, we don't have program budget, so
Right.
if this comes to parks, we will do our best to maintain it, but we don't have a program budget.
Right.
So that's why I mentioned the local businesses, because that's the engagement model, and local community members. So volunteering, like many parks, it needs a volunteer for, it needs some programming support.
I mean, even the fire department, like if they want to do a kids,
No, I mean, this is the hustle. Someone's gotta be like, I'm gonna be the queen of this corner. And then what they gotta do is call everybody and get, the library to come out and do something and Seatown and do
Well,
something.
you remind me of something really quick, sorry, Danny.
Yeah.
Claw, the wonderful Yvonne Stennett and her team, Jackie Tesman, et cetera. Claw I met with them about whether there could be a partnership on this site.
Before I give the floor to Danny, I just want to refocus the conversation on rankings,
Yeah.
on a wish list
Yeah.
that falls under the purview
Yes.
of parks. Because that's gonna be futile. We're gonna say this, and then we had this discussion about another triangle. It turns out that's private property. And we cannot do anything about that land.
That's
because
land
it
use.
will-
We can do,
exactly. Right.
well, we won't.
Danny, I'm just doing a time check. It's 8:29, and I still want to get other ideas, but now I have to refocus the conversation on projects that can be funded through city council and fall under the purview of parks. Yeah, Danny.
I was just curious on what Ring Garden did to get that piece of land
I don't know.
on the where they're at now, because that piece of land used to be like a regular triangle.
Barren, yeah, barren, yeah.
So I wonder what they did
Mm-hmm.
to get that, because I know at some point they sold the old lot. So then they could get that.
Maybe you and I should do this in new business because it's not.
Yeah, it was just, from hearing it, I'm wondering, like.
And I'll share community gardens. We don't have many up here. Ring is a community garden.
Yeah, so that was it. My mouth is shut.
Anybody else has a proposal?
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
For the three of us that are new.
Yes.
Maybe we're not aware, could we go, I do have a few, but I'd like to sort of think about them.
Absolutely.
Could we just mail it?
And
to
then you can
with
email
an
it to me.
explanation?
Yep.
Okay.
But make sure, like I said, part of this discussion is to make those observations and then clarify that unfortunately our hands are tied because they fall under the Port Authority. They fall under the Department of Transportation. So therefore they cannot be listed to be ranked as a parks project.
Yeah, we just need to make sure they're
Yeah.
parks project.
Yeah, exactly.
And Steve Simon or I can help with that.
Exactly, and then you can, and this is how the idea came about, Tracy talking about a walk through to revitalize the ranking list, which you will see in October, right? And start that conversation. And then what I did was had a conversation with Jen. It's like, hey, she knows that I've been bugging her about Payson way before about Payson preschool. Well, that falls on the park, so we can definitely list it as, it doesn't mean that it will get funding, and this is why. I need to say that when we get in October, that's when last year we're like, okay, this project has been on this list for 5, 6, 7 years. It's realistically speaking, it's not gonna get funding. It also doesn't mean that we're going to list 50 projects. We want to be practical and we want to increase the possibility of getting funding. And that's how we got the softball fields funded. It was strategic. Danny,
And just putting on my land use hat on, there is a website called NYZOLA, NYZOLA.com, and you can check there to see who owns what. And like when you click on the piece of land, on the right side, it says like see property owners, and it could say someone like New York City Parks and Recreations or DOT or whomever. That's a very useful website. I love that website. I use it all the time.
Carlos put it in the chat.
Carlos, yeah.
Zola.com.
It's right here.
Zola.planning.
Zola.planning.
Yeah, I just search on Google NYZOLA and then it comes up. So
Zola with Z dot planning dot NYC dot GOV/. Daryl has one more suggestion. I'm doing a time check. It is 8:33 and we still have old business, new business.
And I would just say also for the new members, when we talk about the budgeting and everything, we talk about these things for years. It's often the same thing every year and eventually slowly gets done. So I say that, and this is not an immediate need, but what is it, Bennett Spur? Is that what?
Bennett Rest.
Bennett Rest.
Yeah.
It's
So-
well over rested. It needs a refresh. It needs to wake up.
It's on the list. We have done some cosmetic lifts with the planters. We have started recruiting volunteers. Ben Cohanen is one of our volunteers there. We've had 2 volunteer events there. So in many cases, part of the cultivation Highbridge is a good example of this, everybody, that, you know, Highbridge is a park that has really no friends group that like concentrates. Rosie Yolanda, you know, with her small but mighty team does some good stuff up there. And thank God we have NYRP, Kyle, you know, for the northern part. But Highbridge is a good example, as has been at Rest. We need to have local folks who can help supplement what we can do. Yeah.
So the next ask is what you have articulated, or if you have a new idea, make sure that you send it to me. My email is Luana Ferreira. I will write it down, cb12@gmail, and also CC Jenna, because then she can clarify whether or not the project falls under parks and whether or not it's feasible. But at this point, I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't care about feasibility, but for example, if the project costs 30 million, then it costs 30 million. I'm still going to put it in to get it ranked, right? Which goes back to Tracy's concern. That said, let me just do a check here. Okay. So I have 3 questions. Do you allow PTAs to partner with beautifying that lot? Our school PS4 is 160th and Amsterdam. Caroline Jose.
Parent teacher associations? I mean, we welcome volunteers to work with us anytime.
Exactly. Volunteers are always welcome. And now that we are on an election, we will continue advocating 1% for parks. And I'm happy that question came out during the debates.
Yes.
1%.
Okay, 1% for parks.
Give us money.
All right. Anything else? It is 8:35.
I'm running a marathon next month. Yay.
That's old business.
2 of them. I'm running 2 of them now.
Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Is there a second? Danny motions to adjourn, second by Daryl. Thank you, everybody. Sure.
Can you send an email out that just has all of us? I
Good
mean,
night,
Yes, I
everyone.
will.
Hi, guys. Thank you. Have a good
I wasn't
evening. Stay
notified
home safe.
that you guys
No,
were
I know.
coming.
No,
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
Then just as well.
And you,
I just need.
First one there.
Gotcha. Good to hear. What's your top ideas? Thank you.